All right, welcome to another DESI training video. In this video, we're going to talk about how to use the 1D charts. So in order to pull those up, you're going to want to look in the top right corner here again, our toggle switch, and this leftmost button that looks kind of like a bar chart. If you click that, that's going to load up the alternate view here. And we've got all of our 1D charts, which you can hover over and get readouts. And on the left side here, we've got all of our options that you can go through to alter the data. So this is a pretty similar convention. We've got in the top left our href domain here in the blue box. And then inside of that, this is where our 1D charts are being generated for. So we've got it in Boulder right now to start, but we can move that around to other locations. And once we do that, we'll see the charts update on the right. And you can also come down here and change the lat long or enter in a site ID. So we got our data set as well, so we can change that to a bunch of different options. And if you're ever confused about some of the different data sets, you can always hover over this tooltip and read about the different information that explains what is in these different data sets. So the next thing is we got our different forecast runtimes, and then below that we've got our different members that make up, in this case, the href ensemble. So similar to the sounding analysis, if you hover over the different models, it's going to highlight that solution in the different mediograms. So you can see at the yellow dots there, that's the her, and if I click on it, that'll keep it highlighted, and I can look at how that compares to the rest of the guidance in our box and whiskers here, for example, in precipitation. I can also highlight other models. So let's say I want to go with got the NAM nest here, and I can click on that, and now I've got the purple highlighted, and you can do additional colors as well, and you can turn those off by clicking on them again. And you can also turn the models off by clicking on these different check boxes, and everything will update. Now, if I scroll back up to the top, I want to point out some of the different options here in our toolbar. So we have different groupings for the different weather variables. So right now it's on default, but I could change to, say, fire weather, and then it'll bring up a different set of variables that are relevant to that specific group. And so right now the view is set to overview, which shows you all the different charts that are a part of that group. But if you want to look at just one variable in particular, you can come up here and say view by variable. And so now we've got 2 meter temperature in this chiclet chart at the top. And as I hover over the different times, right now it's showing you a histogram down at the bottom that updates. But I can change that graph style. I can go to a box and whiskers, or I can do plumes. You can also change the different elements. So here's everything that's available based on the href. So if I want to look at, say, wind speed, I can change there. Now if I want to go back to the overview, I can of course come up here and click the drop down and change that way. Or another fast way is that you can right click on the chart here, and then it's going to take you right back to the overview. And similar to that, if I want to go and show a specific variable, so let's look at, say, 2 meter relative humidity, I can double left click on that, and then that'll bring up that variable in the alternate chart. And if I go back, I also want to mention that you can zoom in as well. So if I left click and drag on an individual graph, then everything will update to zoom in on that area. And if you want to zoom back out, then you just left click once and it zooms back out to the full view. And the last thing to mention in the top toolbar is this lock. So if I click on that, what that's going to do is it's going to lock the y-axis. So if I move to a different location, the y-axis is going to stay the same while all the charts update. So this was something that was requested when you're comparing different sites, to keep the y-axis in the same location to help comparison and make it a little bit easier. But if I take this off, then the charts will update and show everything and update as you move the location. That about wraps up our overview of how to use the 1D charts in DESI. Just keep in mind, of course, you can do the different data sets. You can look at the data with cluster analysis. So there's a lot of different ways that you can slice the data and display it in different ways. So thanks for watching, and check out some of the other training videos if you have additional questions.